الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما رضي الله على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد وأصحاب سيدنا محمد وبارك وسلم وصل عليه والصلاة والسلام عليك يا سيدي يا رسول الله وعلى آلك وأصحابك يا سيدي يا حسن الله والصلاة والسلام عليك يا سيدي يا رحمة للعالمين وعلى آلك وأصحابك يا سيدي يا خاتم النبيين. Alhamdulillah, we continued from where we left off last week, and we had a small gathering on Monday night, in the night of the Islamic calendar, in which the Mi'raj, the ascension, the night journey of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam took place. And today, inshallah, I'll just echo some of the things that we mentioned about this waqi'ah during the Isra. So we have two names that are essentially given to this one miracle of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And the first one, the first part of the journey is with regards to the Isra. And when you hear the verse in the Holy Quran which is related to this, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala uses the word Asra. سبحان الذي أسرى بعبده ليلا من المسجد الحرام إلى المسجد الأقصى الآية. That all praise is for the one who took his servant in the short space, short time in the night from Al-Masjid al-Haram to Al-Masjid al-Aqsa. And the question here arises, when the Mi'raj took place, firstly, one of the discussion points of the ulama is, why is Al-Masjid al-Aqsa called Al-Masjid al-Aqsa? Aqsa means the furthest, right? Aqsa means the furthest masjid. For example, we're sitting now here on Bank Lane, and the Chester Street Masjid is one distance to us, but the Randall Street Masjid, that is furthest, right, from us. Yani, from us, Chester Masjid is closer, and the furthest away is Randall Masjid, comparing the distance of these three masjids, or from our point of view, here sitting right now. So Al-Aqsa, the word Al-Aqsa as well, it is used in the Arabic language, it is used from tafdeel, the tafdeel template. Meaning, when you have three brothers, let's say, have three brothers, and the youngest one, he calls the brother who is the eldest, he uses the word eldest. Right? I'm going somewhere with this, inshallah, you just stay with me. He calls his eldest brother the eldest brother, and that's what I want to emphasize on the word eldest, right? And the brother in the middle, he calls him elder brother. He's my elder brother, and that one is my eldest brother, the biggest one. So Masjid al-Haram and Masjid al-Aqsa is the furthest masjid. Now, when the Mi'raj takes place, it is before the Hijrah. Meaning, the Prophet ﷺ has not made his way to Al-Madinatul Munawwara yet to establish his residence there, to establish his masjid there. So when the ulama say, when the name Al-Aqsa is given to Al-Masjid Al-Aqsa by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, it is, in other words, reading between the lines, Al-Masjid Al-Nabawi Sharif, which has not been established yet. It was founded, remember, when the Prophet ﷺ performed the Hijrah to Medina, then he founded Al-Masjid Al-Nabawi Sharif. Right? But look at the fazilat of Al-Masjid Al-Nabawi Sharif. Even before it's been established by the Prophet ﷺ, founded by the Prophet ﷺ, it's still being mentioned between the lines by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, in the form of Al-Masjid Al-Aqsa being called Al-Aqsa, the furthest masjid. Right? So this is a side point that they say with regards to this verse. The Prophet ﷺ went from Al-Masjid Al-Haram to Al-Masjid Al-Aqsa. the furthest masjid. This is the reasoning why it's called Aqsa, the furthest masjid. Then you have this journey where he takes upon the Buraq from this point onwards, Al-Masjid al-Haram to Al-Masjid al-Aqsa. And on Monday we mentioned a few of the things that he sallallahu alayhi wa sallam saw. And many brothers I can see who did not attend the program, inshallah I will want to recap for those brothers and faces that I saw in my film, and for those brothers who went here, inshallah, what they missed, inshallah. So one of the first points the Prophet alayhi salatu wasalam stops at is the stop of Hazrat Musa alayhi salam, Sayyidina Musa alayhi salam. And this stop is at the location of Sina, right? Sina, and this is where Musa alayhi salam said to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Rabbi arini fandur ilayk. Oh my Lord, I want to see you, show me you. What did Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala respond with? Lan tarani. Oh Musa, you will not be able to see me. And this Sina is where this waqi of Musa alayhi salam takes place, right? The Prophet alayhi salam stops there and recites cycles of prayer. And when I recite these verses, कि तूरे सीना और है, अर्शे मुअल्ला और है, कुर्बे मूसा और है, कुर्बे मुहम्मद और है, right? हक का तालिब और है, मतलूबे मौला और है. हक का तालिब means that Musa alayhi salam was searching for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. When he says, Rabbi arini, oh my Lord, show me you, he was talib of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He was seeking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, to see Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But Hatta Talib or Matlube Mawla Musa alayhi salam was going to seek and wanted to see Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala revealed Subhanalladhi Asra bi'abdihi layla min al-Masjid al-Haram. All praises to the one who took his servant from al-Masjid al-Haram to al-Masjid al-Aqsa. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala takes the Prophet sallallahu on this journey, right? And then he says, Ke apna jana aur hai, Rabb ka bulana. Musa alayhi salam went himself. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, when he said, oh Allah, I want to see you, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, okay, go to this place, this location, and look at this mountain. And if this mountain has the capacity to take the jalwa or the tajalli that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, however he will, wanted to descend that upon that mountain, then Musa alayhi salam would be able to see Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, right? But the mountain could not take it. The mountain crumbled. The mountain, Reza ho gaya pahad. He could not take the tajalla, and Musa alayhi salam fainted. Musa alayhi salam fell unconscious. And the disciples who were with Musa alayhi salam, one report says that he had a few disciples and a few sahaba with him. And these companions of Musa alayhi salam, they returned to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The Prophet of Allah fainted, and the disciples, they had even less capacity, and they returned, they found their maut in this waqiyah, and they returned to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Right? Apna jana aur hai, Rabb ka bulana aur hai. Right? Then he stops at the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said to stop at Al-Madinatul Munawwar. And this is before this city is founded, the city of the Prophet is founded by Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And he recites namaz there as well. And then you have these sequences of adab, sequences of punishment that the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam sees. And this on Monday, this was the summary of what I discussed on Monday. The series of punishments that he alayhi salatu wasalam is shown on this journey to Al-Masjid al-Aqsa. And many of these punishments, you know, me and you, we could relate to these punishments that they are facing. The amal we can relate to. Those amal which lead to these azab, those amal and actions that we find ourselves in, those jurm and crimes that we find ourselves in, they lead to these punishments, that they lead to these azab of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And one of the most important things, in fact, the Prophet ﷺ is asked by one of the companions, Ayyul Amal Afdal, which action is the greatest, Ya Rasulullah ﷺ, by the companion. Right? And the Sahaba, when he asks the Prophet ﷺ this question, the response is what? As-salatu fi waqtiha. The greatest action is to read namaz in its time. Reading namaz fi waqtiha, this addition here, to read it in its time, not outside of its time. There's no use. Because the namaz which is not recited in its time, that namaz is not qada, that namaz is qaza. And qaza prayer, that's not any use to us. Right? So, the Prophet ﷺ sees the punishment of the one who missed his prayer as their skulls are being crushed with rocks by the angels. And when they pick up these rocks, their skulls and heads reform their shapes, and then they are repeatedly crushed again and again and again. And this is the adab that the Prophet ﷺ saw for the ones who missed their prayers. And then he continues والسلام, to the next scene, to the next adab which he sees of people. He sees an individual swimming in a river of blood, and the person is being stoned upon his head as well. And this adab is the one adab given to the one who busied himself in riba. Okay, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has made riba usually haram. And those people who busy themselves in riba, who consume the riba, this is the end for them. The Prophet ﷺ sees another group of people, and these people, they are being given the fruits of the hellfire. Jahannam ka fruit, Jahannam ka phal, जिसको ज़क़ूम कहते हैं, और ये शयातीन के सरों की मुशाबहत है इस फल, इसकी शक्ल, इसकी सूरत. And these people are being made to eat ज़क़ूम. And one of the qualities, or one of the descriptions given about the fruits of the hellfire is such that when they would consume it, their throats are unable to let that hull or let that fruit pass. And when they try to eat it, they have such adab and they have such punishment, and they're going through such punishment that they think that this fruit is going to give me sahara. In their minds, they think that this food is going to help me and ease me in my punishment, in my azab. But when they consume it, it only worsens their state. It only increases the azab that they are in, as they then begin to choke, and they're unable to spit it out and bring it out this way, and they're unable to consume it and take it down this way. And then these people, they are described, these are those who, when zakat became fard on them, they were those who never fulfilled their zakat, never fulfilled that fard. And this is a common theme that the Prophet ﷺ sees, where he's seeing people being punished, different types of punishments, but summarizing it in this way, that all of the punishments that he is seeing, they are in relation to the rights of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, one, and the rights of the makhluk of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, two. You can summarize it this way. All of the punishments are either related to the rights of Allah, meaning namaz, zakat, the things that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has made haram, zina, right? Backbiting, slander. All of these rights of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, meaning what Allah ta'ala has made this haram, we cannot go near this. If somebody does this act, then he has not fulfilled the right of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It's Allah's right and Allah's haqq that when He commands us to do something, we must do it. And when He commands us not to do something, we must stay away from it. So that's one. And two, the rights of the people. Backbiting, slander. The rights of the people, your right upon me, my right upon you, right? And everybody's right upon you and your right upon everybody else is that you don't do riba, you don't backbite about them. Their right is that you don't slander them. Their right is that when they are not present in front of you, you don't put their izzat down in the community, you don't put their reputation down in the community. Right? And that's what we see widespread all around us. We see it, riba everywhere, slander everywhere. Right? This is something, it's an illness within our communities that we see it everywhere before us, within our families, within our friends group, within our communities, our society. It's absolutely widespread. And what is the adab of those people? The Prophet ﷺ saw it, that these people, they have copper nails in their hands and they are tearing apart their faces, they're tearing apart their tongues, tearing apart their chests with these copper nails in their own hands. What have I done? Why did I do this? Why did I ruin my akhirah? That's why they're tearing themselves apart. Right? So the rights of Allah and the rights of the makhluk of Allah, these are two things that we have to bear in mind. Allah Ta'ala allowed me to summarize it first, then all of us will ask that why. We'll continue inshallah next week.